This is something that is of utmost significance if we see as far as the ISRO's new mission is concerned. But Srijan, if we talk more about this solar mission, it has completed its transit for more than 100 days. How much time now it is going to take, or what is the time span that has been set to study and, as you were saying, to study solar flares, the solar storms and the impact? How is it going to go about now if we talk about the coming months or years?
So the plan is to make Aditya L1 work for 5 years and probably more. For that, we have set up the right fuel amount in it. As I told you, the engine is in place, and we have done all the preparation for years-long worth of mission. It may probably go more than 5 years. The 5 years should be our minimum, because sun is, we don't know how the sun would behave when the solar winds come, what solar flares go, on what direction do they go, what CME or coronal mass ejection is going out. It's all unpredictable. So you need a long span analysis of the sun. The beauty of the L1 point is that while it is unstable, it is also a point in which you can study the sun 24/7. So there is nothing to block your view of the sun. So the data which you collect is probably more than the other Lagrange points which lie elsewhere between the sun and the earth. So this is our advantage. Our disadvantage is, of course, the fact that we will have to constantly keep correcting the orbit or the orbital motion of Aditya L1. Any loss of that could be catastrophic. So ISRO has prepared for that. That is the reason we have such confidence now that we are going to choose that Lagrange point, which is actually the most difficult one, the unstable one, because that is the best point to view the sun. We have already seen a lot of pictures, as Group Captain Jha was saying. A lot of image and data has already started coming in the due course of his journey towards the L1 point. And I tell you, in terms of data, the visible spectrum, the VELC, this part, which is collecting data in the visible light of the sun, so you can see that photograph clearly like a photograph, that is giving us about 1440 photographs per day. So you can imagine what amount of data is just one device capturing. There's 7 different payloads. One payload is capturing this much of data. Imagine in a period of 5 years, what vast amount of data L1 would be giving to India. And because we believe in sharing that data with the rest of the community for analysis, which no other space agency does the way we do it, it would be a very important input point for not just Indian space scientists and astronomers, but also the community as a whole across the earth to study data from Aditya L1. Aditya L1 has learned a lot from previous mistakes which ESA and NASA had made. I told you about SOHO, which was another such analyzer which was lost because of poor maneuvering. We have corrected all those things in our Aditya L1. It is the cheapest solar probe which anybody has sent, and we are very hopeful that this data will keep coming. I'm really, if you ask me what is my dream in terms of what we get out of Aditya L1, if we can get 2 answers, and we will not get the direct answer, as Group Captain Jha was saying, it's a vast space, but if we can get some clue of why the outer layer of the sun, which should have been cooler, is actually the hottest layer of the sun. If that clue we can get, some clue to that, why does it happen? Do nuclear reactions happen in the atmosphere of the sun? Maybe that's the reason why it's so hot. That's number 1. And number 2, if we can create a model where we can track the trajectory and the occurrence of coronal mass ejections, solar flares and solar winds. Solar winds are blowing in the atmosphere of the sun, solar flares are ejecting out of it electromagnetic waves, and coronal mass ejection are basically ions and plasma which come out of the sun towards the earth. If we can keep a track, some clue we can get about all these things in posterity, in future, these will be critical as we also explore not just for Earth's safety, but other planets where we may venture out. We would need such data and predictive models. And I think Aditya L1 is a great step in that long journey, which I'm sure India would be able to lead for the rest of the world.